Hey guys, this is Christine, your relationship and mindset master doctor, and your leverage for change. Today I'm going to be speaking about some of the behaviors that you may see if you're dating someone with the dismissive avoidant attachment style. Um, Remember now that this attachment style, this individual with this attachment style, they don't trust relationships. They know how to self-soothe very well because in the home that they grew up in, their caregivers were consistently basically neglecting them. They were consistently neglected. So they learned how to self-soothe. So these individuals can be alone for a very long time. They're very comfortable being alone. They find ways of entertaining and self-soothing themselves. And some of the ways that they self-soothe is by maybe gaming. It can be one of those things. Gaming. They'll spend hours and hours gaming. They can use pornography. They can use. Some will go as far as actually, dating multiple women, because the thing about it, guys, is that even though they don't like that emotional connection, it's easier for them to date someone that they're not seeing all the time, right? So they may have women in different parts of the country, in different parts of the world, even if they travel a lot, right? Because what happens with this particular person is that having one person, say with normal people, would have one partner, and they grow deeply connected because of the time they spend together, how they open up themselves and become vulnerable with their partner. But this is not the same for the dismissive avoidant attachment style. First of all, they don't open up easily to their partners on their personal stuff or any other way. If they're having some kind of emotional issue, they will not, any kind of issue, personal issue, it's very, very difficult for them to open up to their partner. They will keep it in, right? Because they don't want to become vulnerable. Being vulnerable for them is unsafe, because when they were children and they were vulnerable, they were always at the mercy of their caregivers, right? So they've learned to be pretty much self-sufficient, right? Even from they were kids. And this is how they now interact in their adult relationships, right? So some of the behaviors we'll see, now guys, it's funny because this individual type this attachment style can also be very charming, and that is what happens at the beginning of a relationship, where that's why that's why they are able to get individuals into a relationship. They can be very charming, very sweet, very giving, and very, but it's all a facade. And that is why it's so important, guys, for you to really take your time when you're entering a new relationship. Now, some of you have gotten caught into that thing, and now you're in relationship with this person. And these are some of the behaviors you may notice. Maybe you've noticed that they're not really particularly caring about having, or they don't really care if they have photos of, they're not someone who will display photos of their family members, because that requires emotional connection to those family members. And for them, it's okay just to know that the family members are there, but they don't really want to have things displayed, like how you have these things displayed around your house of your daughters, your son, your children, your maybe even your friends, your dogs, your whatever it might be, something that means something to you, your parents. Or you'll even have pictures of maybe where you go and you travel to, and you may even have displays of things souvenirs that you've brought back from places you've traveled to. This person is not really, now there may be exceptions, this is not hard and fast, but as a rule, as a kind of a, for the most part, these individuals, you will not find these type of things in their homes. You won't see photographs of loving photographs of friends and family members and dogs and trips taken with friends, that kind of thing. You won't see those things. And things like things that you You want to remember this place, so you bought a souvenir. Stuff like that. They just don't collect that. They just don't have, because they don't want to be really emotionally connected to anything. Really, they don't get emotionally connected to anything, and so you're not going to see that kind of a display in their homes. If you ask this person, like questions about their maybe their family members or their friends, or even whatever it might be, the answer is going to be always very superficial. Nothing like like telling your family stories when you're growing up, and those things that we all have as even if it's funny, good or bad, or things that kids usually get into. You won't hear that kind of a thing. It will be very superficial and very surface level, and you will notice that it will lack emotional content. They won't say, I really love my baby sister and we used to do this together, that kind of thing. No, you won't get that. Another thing that you may notice is that they take a longer time to connect in relationships. They kind of, there are two different scenarios. They will either connect very quickly, but also disappear very quickly. They make sure that they have you, and then as soon as they feel they have you and you've developed an emotional connection to them, that emotional intensity is just not what they can manage, and so they will either leave, right, when things get too emotionally intense. The other thing is that then sometimes they will also drag it out, drag it. They want to have you there, but they don't want to put in the emotional connection and get to know who you are, or for you to get to know who they are. So there are two types of scenarios that can happen in that case, guys, depending on what their motives are, depending on what their motives are, and also depending on what it is, at the level at which they are comfortable, because remember that everything is always along a spectrum, right, guys? And everybody's experience, even though there are certain attachment style, can be different. And so there are certain things that they may, it's going to be a little different. Nothing is set in stone when it comes to attachment styles, guys. So the next thing you may see is that they don't, as I say, they don't open up about their private lives, right? They're very surface level. It's almost as if by sharing their personal and private thing, they feel like you could they feel like they could be threatened by you if you know too much about their personal stuff, or you could use it against them. And so they keep everything very close to them, to their heart. They don't allow themselves to be vulnerable with their partners. They don't allow themselves to really be at a place where they feel they need their partner. So this kind of person will give. They are giving. They will give you stuff, and they will do things for you, and they will, they'll make you feel. They'll do things to, that they know might make you feel good. But guess what, guys? They will not accept things from you. So it's like, and the reason is they won't accept things from you because they don't want to feel like they owe you anything, right? They want to always be in control of the situation. So they will give stuff to you, do stuff for you, come and fix your stuff, do your lawn, fix your appliances, fix your house, whatever it might be. But that connection to you is not there. It's really, that could be how they show love, right? But the thing is, you can't show love to them by giving them much of anything, because they feel that they will be indebted to you in some way, and they don't like to feel indebted to anyone. They'd rather you feel indebted to them. Earlier in the relationship, you may not see a lot of coldness, but if you look carefully, if you're really paying attention, and we're not all just caught up in this lovey-dovey, rose-colored kind of thing when we meet someone new, we will see that sometimes they'll distance themselves, right, guys? You'll see that they'll distance themselves, and the more time that you're in the relationship with this person, you'll see these parts of them becoming more blatant, more obvious, that they won't even bother to hide it anymore, because now they know they've gotten you, and they know, it's going to be difficult for you, because they have not really emotionally connected to you as much as you have emotionally connected to them, because for them emotional connection is dangerous. They don't trust relationships, they don't trust anybody actually, because they don't trust anyone is going to be there for them when they need them, right? Because their parents were not. The next thing is that you may notice that the conversations, in the beginning, you might have had long conversations on the phone, and a lot of people miss it because, normally dismissive, avoidant individual, that attachment style, does not like to talk too much. Soon, when they get used to you and you're now there and you're, into this relationship with this person, now they'll tell you, if you're trying to explain something and you're kind of long-winded, or even taking a longer time, they don't have a lot of patience for a lot of explanations. So they may say to you, can you just tell me the main points, or just give me a short, thing of what you're trying to say. They don't want to sit there and listen and have a conversation with you. As I said earlier, they're very secretive about their private lives, about their personal lives. So you may not even get to meet their family members. You may not even get to meet their friends unless it's, they come around you and you happen to have been there, because they don't want you asking about friends, why you haven't seen this friend in a long time, or all those kind of things. They just don't want that kind of a thing in their lives, so they don't invite you into their lives to be a full part of their lives. You're like on the periphery out there, and there's always this kind of a barrier and distancing from the person that with this attachment style, the dismissive, avoidant attachment style. They're also unwilling to try new things, guys, because they feel very safe where they are at. They and trying new things is going to make them feel vulnerable. They don't like feeling vulnerable into any situation. So say, for example, you may like to jet ski, or say you may like to go to the beach, right? Or you may like to do something and you'd love for the person to join you, travel or whatever it might be. They are not going to be willing to really do that with you, because they like that they're in control of this little space right here, of how they do what they do right here, and to do something else is going to put them out of that comfort zone, making them feel vulnerable. Right? So when they feel vulnerable, they feel like they're out of control and weak. So they don't like that feeling. So there won't be someone who will try a lot of things that are new, and especially if they believe they may fail at it, because failing for them is like kryptonite to Superman, I think it is. Failing for them is like kryptonite, right? They don't like failing. So these individuals actually do very well in their careers, guys. And the reason that they do very well in their careers is because they approach their careers in a very logical way. They do what they need to do, and because they don't want to spend time with you sometimes, because that's too much emotional connection. They will spend a lot of time at working and doing overtime and doing whatever is required to get into a place of management and that kind of a thing. They will travel and go, because their thing is always about their safety, and staying away from home sometimes might be, is something that they hide into their work, so just so they can avoid that emotional connection from you at home, right? Their partners. Also, they are as I say, they're usually very successful in their careers because they can focus on certain things. And remember, this is one way they also self-soothe, guys, because work, it doesn't have an emotional component to it. It's more logical, and that is how these individuals are. They're more logical. They're not into, so if you ask them a question, or if they respond in a way, it is not going to have an emotional component to it. You won't hear anything about feelings or emotions, or you won't hear I feel this way. It would be more like this is how it is because of that. You know what I'm saying? It's very logical, right? The next thing is as I said, they don't want anyone to do, others to do anything for them because they feel indebted to that person. They don't want to feel obligated or indebted to anyone that they feel they have to return a favor. They don't want that. They want to do for you, and you feel that you feel indebted to them, but they don't want to feel indebted to you. So they will do for you, but you, when you do for them, it's like almost like they push it away, right? They're very uncomfortable with things like hugging, cuddling. It's almost for that. It's not. It doesn't come natural to them. As a matter of fact, it's almost like you have to teach them how to be affectionate. That kind of they don't have that affection. They don't have that kind of a hug. It's very difficult. I was with one partner like that, and it was very difficult even to look in your eyes, to look eyes to eye, eyeball to eyeball, or connection, or it was very weird. I've never ever encountered anything like that. And it was just like they couldn't look you in your eyes. It was very uncomfortable for them. That they never had that when they were younger, guys. They were just kind of left on their own. They didn't have an emotional connection. They didn't have a mother who looked at them. And you know how mothers look at their babies and laugh and play and tease them and tickle them and, you know, kiss them and all that. They didn't get that. So they feel uncomfortable looking eye to eyeball to eyeball with you. They can't look at you with that kind of love that you normally expect from a partner. They can't do that. The hugging, holding hands, just holding you sometimes, that is like non-existent. You're not going to get that. Sitting down and just chilling with you and talking and having deep conversation, you're not going to get that from this kind of this partner, right? Nothing, no physical touch, looking into your eyes, they will not be doing that. So if this is the partner that you have, that's going to be very cold, right? Because you also always have this sense of coldness coming from them. There's no warmth, you know, there's no warmth. You know, they may do things for you, but there's no warmth in it. They're doing it. It's almost like a stranger doing something for you, and it's not, there's no warmth or connectivity or emotional connection with this person. It almost comes off as, you know, if they're going to caress you or something like that, and you're trying to tell them to, you know, how to, because you notice that they can't even caress you. You know how when you're in love and you're looking at somebody's face and you're caressing their face and you're doing all that kind of stuff. Don't expect that from this person. They can't even do that. It's almost like if they try to do it, it's very mechanical and robotic. It's not natural. The next thing is there's always a sense that you only know this person at a surface level, because you just never got beyond that top level, surface area of their feelings or any connection with them. They keep you at a distance from their families, keep you at the distance from their work, keep you at a distance from everything. It's almost like you're in a little bubble with this person who is not really quite there with you either. It's like you're in this little bubble and they step in and out as they want, and you feel you're in this relationship, you feel very lonely. You feel very lonely even if the person is in the same room with you. The most you could get in terms of being emotional, guys, is if, for example, you may say something to them because you're so upset at all this lack of affection and stuff, and they're angry. But most of them, at least, being angry for them does not necessarily mean they're going to abuse you. But what you will get is this it's like a restrained anger. You won't, in terms of emotion I'm talking about now, it's like almost a restrained anger. So you'll see it on their face in terms of very restrained, though, not any, you know, like out there emotion, very restrained. Restrained kind of anger, and even happiness, guys. Even when they're happy, you know, when I'm happy, I laugh and make all kind of noise and I'm doing all kind of craziness, right? This person is, even in their happiness, they're restrained. Even when they're happy, you know, I remember dating this same person, and we went out to a concert, and everybody's laughing and laughing and laughing and laughing because it was, you know, they were telling jokes, and even with the music, it was just like no affection. You kind of wonder, what is this, a robot I'm sitting beside, or you know, very robotic, and just like everybody's laughing and everybody's, you know, just enjoying themselves and showing and smiling and laughing and just having fun. And this person was just like, and I go, oh gosh, it's like, oh, just weird. It's just very weird. It's weird having a relationship with this type of a person, because most people need that emotional connection, right? In fact, babies actually can die if they are not given emotional connection when they're babies, right? If they're not held, cuddled, looked at. And so these individuals, though, they didn't have that, but they've learned to self-soothe. And the way they self-soothe was by putting their attention elsewhere, like in video games, pornography, because remember the common theme with these things that they put themselves in, overwork, is that there's no emotional connection. Your work does not require you to be emotionally connected. Pornography does not require you to be emotionally connected. Gaming does not require, it does not, even if it's emotionally connected, guys, it's not, they don't have to participate and satisfy somebody else's emotional needs or get deep down into that emotional connection. All right, they may enjoy themselves doing all this gaming and stuff, right? Or binge watching TV, but they don't have to feel as if they have to give of themselves in that kind of connection. And so that is how they self-soothe. So I think this kind of gives you a good idea. I'm hoping that this gives you a fairly good idea of if you're in a relationship with somebody with this particular attachment style. And guys, remember, this individual is not that they're evil. They had a bad start in childhood. However, this individual also is so emotionally messed up, really, that they will not even, a lot of them will not even seek help at this stage in their lives. And that is to their detriment, because, you know, everybody can change. These were belief systems and behaviors that were laid down as a child. But everybody, the brain, we've learned now that the brain can be changed. Wiring can be changed. We can change it by repetition and emotion and doing the things that you want to do, all right? But this attachment style is very difficult. Most of them don't, because first of all, they don't want to be vulnerable, to be able to put themselves out there, to be that vulnerable, to feel the pain of changing. And sometimes change requires that you do some work that is going to cause you some pain. And so hopefully you learned something from this, guys. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you found some value in this video. Also, please hit the notification bell. And guys, my membership now my channel now has memberships. If you hit that button below that says join, it will give you an outline of all the different levels that's there. I won't go too far into that. Just check it out and see if there's something that you can find. At the very lowest level, though, at $3.99 per month, you can just support my channel, because, you know, for the content I'm giving you, if you find it valuable. All right, guys, so that's it for now, and until next time, you know, I'll see you next time. Until then, just take care of yourselves. Okay, guys? Bye-bye.